What's up, sports bettors? Lines are on the move. As you can see, the Cavs just moved from minus 240 to minus 250. And what I'm going to be sharing with you is a three-leg parlay on Underdog Fantasy. Okay, so we're basically always playing. If you look through kind of a lot of the plays I've given out on YouTube, 3 picks to win $3,000, a lot of wins, a lot of losses. Obviously, we have been running pretty hot, but what you're going to notice is we're always playing 5-pick and 3-pick entries. And the reason for that is when you're playing a 3-pick entry on Underdog, you're getting the implied juice of minus 122. So basically the way this platform works is any parlay you create, doesn't matter what picks you select, you're always betting 1 to win 6 for a 3-leg parlay. Overs, unders, it doesn't matter. 1 to win 6. So wow, lines are really on the move. It looks like they are ripping towards the Washington Wizards against the Nets tonight. The Nets must be awful. But anyways, long story short, based on the way payouts work on Underdog Fantasy, 3-pick and 5-pick entries are optimal because you're getting minus 122 implied odds, right? So we just said any 3-leg parlay on Underdog Fantasy is you're betting 1 to win 6. Right? You're betting 1 to win 6. 1 to win 5 in profit plus your $1 stake back, which is the implied odds of minus 122. Whereas for a 3-pick entry, or a 2-pick entry, I apologize, you're betting 1 to win 3. You're betting 1 to win 3, so the implied odds are a lot worse. 1 to win 3. So long story short, when you're playing on Underdog Fantasy, if you're playing 2-pick entries, 2-leg parlays, you should assume you're betting at minus 137 juice. If you're playing 3-pick entries, you should assume you're getting minus 122 implied odds, right? So when you're looking for value on OddsJam, so here I'm just looking at the Dolphins-Bears game, and this is actually the first play I went with is Raheem under 14.5 player rushing attempts. So you're going to see on Underdog, it's going to say minus 137 and minus 122. Minus 137, minus 122. So we don't care about this minus 137, right? Because we're playing this in a 3-pick entry. So we're getting minus 122 implied odds. But what you'll notice is I love this play at minus 122. I actually found this play on the OddsJam arbitrage page. So plus 126 is an arbitrage bet with minus 122. So we know by definition, one of these bets has to be mathematically profitable. If you can bet on the over, betting 100 to win 126 in profit, and then on the under, you're betting 122 to win 100 in profit, that's an arbitrage bet, right? So you could make risk-free money betting on both sides. Not actually, because Underdog Fantasy requires you to place a parlay, but the point is we know whenever arbitrage exists, one bet has to be profitable. And what you're going to notice is all the sports books, Bet365, BWin, DraftKings, they all have Raheem under 14.5 rushing attempts, heavily juiced. So the under is very favored, and we're able to get this minus 122 in our Underdog entry. So again, this platform, right, they're not varying your payout, as you can see, depending on if you select the over or the under. Whereas on sportsbooks, they do, right? Raheem under 14.5, you're getting a lot worse odds. On Caesars, it's minus 174, betting 174 to win 100 in profit. So the under is heavily juiced. And the reason the under is heavily juiced is because the under is a lot more likely to occur, right? Sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. If something's minus 200, it's a 2-to-1 favorite, 66% to occur. So when you're able to find these spots where sportsbooks have the under or the over heavily favored and you're able to get it in your Underdog entry, that's just a ridiculous value play, right? And as a sharp bettor, we're always looking for value. Value is all that matters in the long run, right? So the next play I ended up going with is right here. Dylan Cousins under 2.5 shots on goal in Sabres Hurricanes. So this play is just absolutely insane value. I mean, as you'll see on Underdog, you're getting minus 122 if you play this in a 3-pick or a 5-pick entry. Look at where the sports books are. Minus 165 to minus 174. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like all these sports books are data points telling us, hey, here's where the line should be set. And all of these bookmakers are saying, hey, the under should be a heavy favorite at like minus 170. We're able to get 50 cents better, 51 cents of improvement from the sharpest bookmaker in the world, Pinnacle, on Underdog Fantasy. You have to be on this under. Dylan Cousins under 2.5. Right? Underdog Fantasy isn't changing your payout depending on if you select the over or the under. So it would literally be a disaster to include this over in your underdog entry, right? You would be betting this minus 122 when you could be getting it plus 130 on DraftKings, 52 cents better. So you always have to be hunting for value, being a sharp bettor. You'll notice on Underdog Fantasy, we will go through winning streaks. We'll go through losing streaks, right? So we lost a few in a row yesterday. We had some winning streaks. I don't care about the short run variations. I care about long-term profit margin. And the way you get long-term profit margins of 7%, like you can see on this play, is you hunt for value, you hunt for edges. You take the BS out of sports betting, you focus on the numbers, you focus on finding enough value to beat the vig, beat the juice, enough value to beat the vig, beat the juice, and that's how you end up consistently growing your bankroll and winning big money plays, right? You want to find bets on Underdog Fantasy where you're getting value at minus 122. It's really that simple. All of these plays are doing that. All of these plays, right? And then on Thrive Fantasy, it's a very similar concept, right? You want to find plays for 2-pick entries because 2-pick entries on Thrive Fantasy have the best implied odds at minus 111. But I mean, this play is just a no-brainer, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all our data points telling us, hey, this under is a heavy, heavy favorite. So we're getting ridiculous value at minus 122. I mean, this is a hammer. Not only is this bet, very clearly you're getting a lot of value, but you also have really high confidence that this bet is really profitable. It's not like there's any variation from sportsbook to sportsbook. Here it's very clear every sportsbook thinks the under should be heavily favored. It's not even like Caesars or DraftKings. They're only at like minus 150 on the under. They're all at like minus 165 to minus 175. So ridiculous. Then the final play I went with is Halliburton under 2.5 made threes. Once again, ridiculous value. The under is heavily favored. So if you were to create this 3-leg parlay, under 2.5 threes for Halliburton, under 14.5 rush attempts, under 2.5 shots on goal on DraftKings, you would be betting 250 to win 1.1K. On Underdog, we're betting 250 to win 1.5K. 250, right, to win roughly $900 in profit. Whereas this is $250 to win $1,250 in profit, $1,500 total, including your stake. So absolutely insane value on this play. Hopefully you guys are able to tail it. Let's make some frickin' money on Friday.